if you've got muddy boots and you walk across a white carpet, you will see the evidence of where you've been. And it's a bit like that when you're ministering to somebody, that you see the evidence of what the enemy has done in their life. And give you a few examples, very, very simple examples of a man who went away on a business trip for the weekend with his company. And over that weekend, he had a sexual relationship with one of the secretaries in the company. And that was buried. 10 years later, he's coming asking for prayer for something else. But the issue, he's walked on Satan's territory. He's gone into Satan's mud. And the evidence is there in his life. And so when you come with some symptoms like that, whatever psychological symptoms or depression or whatever it might be, you don't, at least I don't, start just praying for the problem. You start looking at why the problem is there. And a lady was convicted as I was teaching on this whole area, and she came up to me at the break in a conference and she said, I've got acute physical symptoms and I've been on medication for years, but I now know why they're there. So for the last 20 years, I've been in my company, responsible for the finances of the office. And she said, for 20 years, I've been taking a bit each week, and there's something like $50,000 that she had stolen. She said, I now know that I've been giving entry to the enemy. And she needed not just confession, repentance, she had the greed that had come into her. Oh, I've got this opportunity, and the enemy feeds it. But see, we have to give license to the enemy. So I mentioned that previous story of sexual sin, this one's greed. And if we walk outside of godly order, we're walking into disorder. We're walking out of God's territory into the enemy's territory. And if you walk on Satan's mud, your feet are going to get muddy. That's very simple. I'm a simple-minded person, really, because I like to see things in pictures. But Satan is no respecter of persons. He won't look at you and say, well, I say, this is a pastor, I'm not going to touch him. He'll say, this is a pastor, I'm going to do everything I possibly can to touch him. And it's a sad experience that in recent years, know people have been know of quite well, who've had hidden relationships, and now then they get exposed. And Satan's very good at keeping things hidden until a person becomes popular and famous, and then exposes it. We look at God's order for holy living, and we all know it as Christian leaders. But if you step outside it, don't be surprised if the enemy takes advantage that you've opened a door. And I look at it a bit like this. If you're in a submarine, underwater, and you open a door, open a porthole, does the water ask permission to come in? It doesn't. It just comes. So if we are opening a door to the enemy, Satan doesn't say, oh, can I come in? He says, thank you.
Alpha, Omega.